Hello, welcome back to Color and Canvas. Today I am doing something different, something that I saw on YouTube the other day, thought it was beautiful, and I want to give it a try. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and that is the case here. Fozia Creations on YouTube, check her out. She does these most beautiful flower swipes, and I like doing flower swipes too. You saw me do Oopsie Daisy on another video, and I absolutely love Oopsie Daisy, but that's an outward swipe, and Fozia creates hers doing an inward swipe. So that's what we're going to try and do today, and let's see if we can do anything remotely as nice as what she does, because her work is gorgeous. So here we go. I have a turntable. I've put a 12 by 12 inch canvas on it. All of the paints that I'm using are probably Liquitex Basics or Artist Loft. They're mixed with my pouring medium, which is about 50% Floetrol, 30% Gluol, and 20% water. And to that, I've added a little bit of gloss varnish, a little bit of Liquitex pouring medium, just a tiny bit, just to condition the pouring medium. So I will be using white, kind of a custom mixed teal color that I have, black, mixed purples, and a couple of different kinds of gold. One of them is 24 karat. My mixed golds is running low and I didn't feel like mixing more right now, so I'm going to use two kinds of gold. And I've poured the purple and teal into a cup, and to those I have added a little bit of glitter paint. I just had a little bit left in a bottle. I haven't used this in years, so I've just added a bit to give it some shine. A tiny bit of pearlescent medium and a tiny bit of iridescent medium. Fozia puts a lot of glitter in some of her colors, and it's an absolutely gorgeous effect. I don't have a lot of glitter, so I'm just going to use what I have. For our first attempt at this kind of art, you don't have to do it exactly. I just want to see how it goes. So let's just put some colors down, and we'll see what happens here, shall we? I need to move some of these off to the side, because I'm not going to be using them from the bottles. Okay, so here we go. First we put down a big puddle of our black, and we're going to be pouring into that, because this is technically a puddle pour. So we're going to go black and white, and I have a particular order that I'm going to be doing these in. And now we're going to start adding in our colors. So let me get rid of these. Okay. We're going to put in our gold. Start with our mixed golds. Our blue. I've gone out of order already. I can't believe I did that. Don't worry about me. We'll get back in the swing of things eventually. We've gone out of order already. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have a good amount of paint on here. I don't think we need any more, because we are going to spin it out at the end. We're definitely off kilter here. And we will end with black. Put the lids on my paints. I'm going to give this a little tilt to get it back centered again. It's going to be a wonky flower. And so I'm putting a good black puddle in the middle because we're going to be dragging our paints inwards into that puddle. Okay? So I'm grabbing my trusty tool here, and I'm going to put a little bit of black around the outside. Because our black puddle got completely engulfed by the other paints. All right. I'm going to be swiping inward through from that black into the center. I will torch first. There are some air bubbles here because I stirred those two colors together very, very quickly. Oh, we've got a bit of a problem there. That's because I tilted it, and I kind of had to. We'll just see if we can repair that. And once we put all the swipes in, it isn't going to be noticeable anyways. So I have my trusty tool and wipe it off after each time. So here we go. Center that into the middle. So we're going to go just like that. And I'm just going to turn it and just keep swiping into the center. Over and over and over again, and we'll see what happens. Well, as this was my very first time trying this technique, you can see that each time I swiped, I brought more and more paint into the center, and the center got a little bit unmanageable with that big puddle. I have since learned a good trick for dealing with that, and that's to get an eyedropper or one of those plastic transfer pipettes and suck the excess paint out as you go. That'll leave the lines nice and crisp and clean as they go into the center. We learn all these tricks as we get more experience, don't we? See a couple of air bubbles right there in the middle. Let's get rid of those. So I don't know what we're going to do with this. After we spin it out, we'll decide. How about that? So let me move these over. I'm going to have to add some paint to the outside so that it moves. So what I will use is my white base paint that I have mixed up. See, I just mix up a whole bottle of it. It's a relatively thin consistency of white. So I will put that on there, we'll spin it out, and then we'll see what happens. Now, I'm not trying to put a lot of paint on here, I just want something to moisten the canvas so that the paint flows outwards evenly rather than getting caught on the dry canvas. So here we go, we'll just smooth this out. All of this is going to disappear, so it doesn't matter if, you know, there's a little speck of color in it or something, that's going to be covered up by the paint that spins off. I'm going to try and center it a bit, but it's not getting centered, so let's just spin. Let's just spin. It's going to come out really wonky. That's all right. All right, that's where we're at for now with this. And we'll see what happens when it dries, and if I embellish it, I will show that to you as well. All right, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for the dry result. And we're back, and here it is. This is the dried result. You can see even the wonky middle dried absolutely beautiful, and I'm not going to embellish it at all. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I like it. I think it turned out great for a first try, and I encourage you, go try something new, paint something beautiful, and have a great day. Bye-bye.